Hello once again everyone, welcome back to another vlog. Now I've got the setup like this because I've started using the mic from my headset, so it's gonna look a bit weird, but it should give you some better audio quality, because I know that the mic in the webcam picks up a lot of other sounds this goes on, and you can hear that in the background. And I did this for a video that's not come out yet and probably won't come out for a while because I want to improve it, to work on it a bit more, and I just don't have the time. Well, I do have the time, I just don't want to. It's complicated anyway. But I'm doing another discussion video on something that very recently finished. By very recently, I mean it finished yesterday. If you guys watched my videos before, you know I did a previous discussion video on Doctor Who at some point. I think that's when I watched seasons 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, I forget which one I discussed. I think I did discuss 6, because it just came out when I was watching it, something like that. Anyway, season 8, the newest season, just finished yesterday. It's the season with Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. It's his first season, so you know I tend to try and stick away from doing this stuff so new-ish, depending on So usually I tend to just go if it's been out a year or so, or I mean, with the books, it's obviously I did a book that was recently come out last time, which was House of Night, Redeemed. So, but I did try and stick away from too spoilerish territory of saying, "Oh, X happened to Y character," kind of deal. I just said, "Yeah, it was really good," and then I talked more about the previous entries in the series and what happened there to get you up to the point of Redeemed, kind of deal. So that was spoilerish, but obviously with them books being out for a good couple of years, you could have read it if you was interested, kind of deal. But obviously with this, that too just recently aired or finished airing, and so it's you have to be sort of on the ball with catching up to all 12 episodes. Yeah, it's 12 episodes basically. So if you have not watched all of season 8 yet, I would highly recommend you go do that before watching this video, and it's because I'm gonna spoil the shit out of season 8 for you guys. I'm sorry, but I bet you should get that warning out of the way. You can't say, "Oh, why do you spoil it?" You know, I told you I was going to spoil it. Fuck you, basically. But yeah, so season 8 started 12 weeks ago with the first episode. That was the one where he just woke up and just after his regeneration, and he's in Victorian London, and we get Strax and Vestra and Jenny again, along with Clara, and then it's they're dealing with a dinosaur that's they teleported here with them because they was eaten by a dinosaur, and the TARDIS then teleported them to 18th century London, kind of deal. And then there's the guy, sort of a throwback reference to season 2 episode of Doctor Who, where there was a ship called the Madame de Pompadour, which the Lieutenant Doctor goes on, and I think that was the first mission that Mickey went on, I think, in season 2, when he joined up with Rose and the Doctor. It was one of the early ones anyway, with where Mickey is on the TARDIS, and they just discover this ship floating around in these time portals back to the 18th century at different points of the time of Madame de Pompadour, who's obviously this famous French woman, basically, and then you get these like clockwork type robots that need to harvest, like, are trying to repair the ship called the Madame du Pompadour, and basically they think that this human will has the parts to basically do that, and they just want to harvest them at the correct period of time, which is why they've got all these different time windows, which the Doctor hops in and hops out of, and sort of builds up this relationship with the Madam kind of deal. It was really a really interesting episode, but they call back to that in the first episode where they've got these the clockwork robots again, but this time it's the Madam, Marie du Annette or something like that. It's basically another ship named after another famous woman, and they're harvesting human parts to repair the ship, and one of them has repaired himself so much to look like a human, so from one side of his face, basically, kind of deal. And he's like changed his face so many times that it's like he's no longer anything like what his face originally was, kind of deal. It was really nice. Go back to that episode, and the Doctor deals with it and kind of saves the day and gets destroys the ship and stuff and all that kind of deal. But yeah, and then the second episode was Into the Dalek, which was a very interesting episode. It was Into the Dalek, wasn't it? Pretty sure, yeah, it was Into the Dalek, because that's where the Doctor and Clara and a bunch of other people get miniaturized and go inside a Dalek, which is malfunctioning because of, I think it's radiation. They decided, so they basically messes with its functionality and memory banks, and it becomes what is a good Dalek. And he kind of wants to destroy all the other Daleks, and then they fix that, and it becomes a bad Dalek again, and then they somehow make it work to where it becomes a good Dalek again, kind of deal. And that was really interesting to just see the Daleks in a different way, kind of deal. Like you see the Daleks as these big bad robots type guys who want to destroy everything, and then you go inside of it and see how it's all just set up, and it's got like antibodies and all that sort of stuff. It's just really, really cool. The third episode was the Robin Hood one, which was again one of my favourites, just because it's like, again, I'm pretty sure there's a callback to season. Well, there's not a callback to season 3, but they must have forgot about it in season 3 where David Tennant becomes Robin Hood or something like that, or fights with Robin Hood because he's got that bow and arrow in the Blink episode. And there's something along the lines of Robin Hood, I'm pretty sure. But I should watch that episode again to just make sure. But yeah. And basically it's like, no, Robin Hood isn't real, and it turns out he is real, kind of deal, and it's just really, really well done, and awesome stuff. And the fourth episode was that the Caretaker one, or something else? I think it was the Caretaker one, where a robot is around the school where Clara works, and you get to meet Danny. Well, you already met Danny Pink, but you get more interactions with Danny Pink. Oh no, it's not. It wasn't the fourth episode. It was that. The fourth episode was the one with the nightmares and stuff, and you get to meet Awesome Pink, this astronaut guy kind of deal. Yeah, the first episode was Caretaker, something like that, and it's like there is a bunch of episodes. bunch of episodes that are all decent, and you get like, yeah. So, and then you get Time Heist, which is where they break into a bank that's not meant to be broken into, kind of deal. It's like it's meant to be impossible, and then they say there's race that can ferret out guilty deeds basically through mind and like reading your mind. That was a really good episode as well. That was Kill the Moon, which is like oh, the moon's actually an egg and it's hatching, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? We have to kill the moon to stop the tides fall fucking up and all that kind of deal. And it's like, in the end, we don't kill the moon, it hatches and lays another egg, so the moon's still there. Kind of deal. It's all good. And one of my favourite episodes was the one where the two-dimensional beings invade, and they sort of like people get eaten, well, not just they get destroyed and turned into graffiti art, and there's like these 2D dimensional beings are trying to understand the freedom for the dimensional beings by eating them or scanning them or whatever. But it kind of kills them when they do it, and because of them doing all this stuff, the TARDIS becomes a miniature TARDIS with Doctor locked inside, and so Clara becomes the Doctor basically, and that's really fun. There was the episode where the forest saves the Earth basically, and it's like a mass forest just grows suddenly all over the Earth and turns London to forest and stuff. It saves it from the solar basically discharge from the sun that would completely and utterly destroy the Earth unless the atmosphere was built with a shit ton more of oxygen, which is basically what the trees do, and it's like happened in previous years kind of deal, and people just forget about it. So you should not cut down trees, or at least not as excessively as we do now, because it's stupid. The trees give us oxygen and shit to survive. Anyways, was that the episode before the two finale ones? I think it was. Might missed one or two. But like, yeah, the two finale ones were, you got the one where he's like Danny Pink he dies unfortunately, and he's like on the phone call with Clara, and gets hit by a car, he dies, and then he wakes up in the kind of what he thinks is heaven, but it actually isn't heaven. It's just the memory storage unit kind of deal that Missy's put up to collect all these dead human minds basically, and then she converts dead human bodies into Cybermen and starts the invasion kind of deal. That's the first episode, and the second episode is just sort of like a conclusion of that, which was the one that was last night, and it's just seriously awesome. You get the SWAT team, whatever, I forget what the unit guys come back and capture Missy and the Doctor and stuff, and they put them on a plane. There's all this stuff, and you get the woman who was the huge Doctor Who fan basically, and was in the 50th episode wearing the 4th Doctor scarf, and he's now in this episode wearing an 11th Doctor bow tie, and she says, "Bow ties are cool," and it's just like, yes. And then Missy kills her, and you're like, no, my favourite character. And the Doctor's just off his throne. It's like, all in space and time. And it's like, whoa, it'd be pretty cool if she became a companion. I'm not saying Clara's bad. I mean, I really like Clara, but just think about it. As a Doctor Who fan, becoming like a companion would just be awesome. and she was like so really intelligent and all that kind of deal. To spiel, so it was just nice to think, oh, this intelligent person could potentially go around to travelling with the Doctor, just like Clara currently is, who is again really intelligent and all that kind of stuff. But but yeah, it was really good. And it's like, oh my god, Missy is the master. How did he come back again? Now he's a woman. I'm all confused. And then he's like, oh yeah, because the Doctor saved Gallifrey in the 50th episode, he manages to come back. And I'm pretty sure he'll probably be back again, because even though you see him get shot by Cyberman, I'm pretty sure that looks like he just teleported away rather than is destroyed, because that's not the typical thing you see when he gets shot, but when other people have been shot by a Cyberman, and particularly because he's a Time Lord, you would have thought he would have regenerated, or she would have regenerated into a new form, unless she's run out of regenerations, of course. But they would want her to come back for whatever reason, because Moffat's like, he's a good villain, should bring him back, kind of deal. Yeah, but overall, I really enjoyed the series. It basically had some really interesting monsters and stuff that had to be dealt with the Doctor and stuff, and these just getting into Peter Capaldi, because his first episode was, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm liking him. I mean, he's a really good actor and he's showing, but I'm not sure. And now at the end of the season, I'm just like, yeah, Capaldi is the Doctor now. He's done a really just spectacular job throughout the series, and he's come to a place where he's absolutely awesome. And Clara is still one of my favourite companions. She's really smart, and really sad that she didn't get to be with Danny Pink in the end, because obviously with Danny dying, he gets turned into a Cyberman basically, and then he chooses to sort of save the Earth, and then he dies, and he's able to come back, but instead of him coming back, he sends back the kid he killed whilst he was serving as a shoulder, yeah. So yeah, it's like, oh man, Danny was such a good character, because he really was like a brilliant character, and now you've just thrown that away, kind of deal. But but yeah, it definitely had a lot better writing this time round as well. We had some really good episodes all the way through. Rather than, I think season 7 was the one where you had a few good episodes with Amy and Rory, and then when Clara got introduced, you had a few good ones and a few bad ones. Like, you just like just random episode that doesn't just fit all together like this one has, kind of deal. Where you see the investment of Clara's and Danny's relationship and all that sort of stuff. And I'm really looking forward to the Christmas special where we get Nick Frost as Santa Claus. So it's going to be interesting to see that in a month and a half, basically. So yay. So yeah, seriously, if you I know a lot of people give Doctor Who a lot of shit these days, like, oh, it's bad writing, it's kind of deal. Personally, I've always sort of enjoyed most of the episodes in Doctor Who. There's been a few like, why is this one here, kind of deal. It's just kind of filler. You always get those ones because it's like a long season-ish, and you can't always have episodes all linked together and all neat and nice. But for the most part, Doctor Who always just gives you amazing stuff to watch, and you get really excited for new ones. So I'm like, well, what's gonna happen next? Will Clara stick with the Doctor, because obviously she's lost Danny now? So does she stick with the Doctor to try and forget her potential life with Danny, or does she stop being with the Doctor to pursue her normal life kind of deal? Is that gonna be a thing that's gonna be sort of explored in season 9? Because in the news when the Doctor Who just kind of started, people was like, oh, Jenna Coleman's gonna be stopping being Clara, and so it's like, I'm not sure if that's absolutely 100% positive, like confirmed yet or not. But it'll be like, well, if she does go, who's gonna be the new companion, basically? And yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I don't want Clara to go, Jenna or Clara to go just yet, because they are really interesting characters. And, Jenna is a really good actress. Clara's a really interesting character. I would want to see more of. I mean, a lot of people bitch about Clara being, oh, she's too pretty and all that sort of stuff. And she doesn't. People don't. So some people don't like her. In the fanbase that probably does like her. I always want to see more of her. Because she's only been in 1.5 seasons so far. I mean, obviously, previous companions, you had Rose Tyler, which was 2 seasons and half of the other seasons, where she just turns up in season 3 for 1 episode or 2 episodes or whatever, and then she turns up in season 4 for these finales and stuff for that. Season 4, basically. And then you got Martha again. Does the 1 season, but she turns up in season 4. And Donna, obviously, she does the Christmas special, and then all of season 4. But it's like you get these people who just do 1 season. I mean, it's not too bad, but yeah. There's my thoughts on Doctor Who. I really enjoyed it. This season, it's definitely been a really, really good season, and getting into the Doctor, or the Peter Colby's Doctor is good kind of deal. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here, because again, over 20-minute episode of me just ranting on stuff like last time, so I don't know if people will watch it. This will probably be going up on tomorrow, Monday, so at least gives you the chance to have watched all of the Doctor, just in case you missed it. You'll have a chance to catch up, kind of deal. But yeah, I will see you guys next time for more stuff. It'll probably be an update video next week, unless I get my loot crate. But I don't think I'll get my loot crate, because it's not the right time. But yeah, so yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace out, Girl Scouts.